Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lecture 6 of CIN 603. And this week, we shall be looking at the topic object modeling. Now, in a nutshell, object modeling is a technique that is approached for modeling and designing software or systems. The object modeling technique, or we also call it as OMT in abbreviated terms, is an object modeling approach for software modeling and designing. In this lecture, we should look at the following learning outcomes. 1, explain how object-oriented analysis can be used to describe an information system. 2, define object modeling terms and concepts, including objects, attributes, methods, messages, classes, and instances. 3, explain relationships among objects and the concept of inheritance. And 4, draw an object relationship diagram. Moreover, we will also describe UML or Unified Modeling Language tools and techniques, including use cases, use case diagrams, class diagrams, sequence diagrams, state transition diagrams, and activity diagrams. However, our major focus will be on use case diagrams. Explain the advantages of using case tools in developing the object model, and finally explain how to organize an object model. Overview of object-oriented analysis. The object-oriented methodology is popular because it integrates easily with object-oriented programming languages such as Java, Smalltalk, VB.NET, Python, and Perl. Programmers also like object-oriented code because it is modular, reusable, and easy to maintain. The end product of object-oriented analysis is an object model. An object model represents the information system in terms of objects and object-oriented concepts. Some of the advantages of using object-oriented methodology includes modularity for easier troubleshooting. When working with object-oriented programming languages, you know exactly where to look when something goes wrong. Moreover, it allows the reuse of code through the use of inheritance. Thirdly, there's flexibility through polymorphism. And finally, there's effective problem-solving methods that could be utilized. Some of the common terms in object-oriented are UML, Unified Modeling Language. Now, UML is a method for visualizing and documenting an information system. Attributes. These are characteristics that describe an object. Methods are tasks or functions that objects perform. Messages, command to perform a specific function. A class is basically a group of similar objects. In classes, normally we have instances. So instances are a specific member of a class. To look broadly into what we had described or identified earlier, first of all, let's go and have a look at attributes. Now, attributes, they describe the characteristics of an object. The number of attributes required depends on business requirements of the information system and also the requirements of users. Attributes of an object are defined during the system development process. Objects possess a state. State basically describes the current status of an object. Methods are specific tasks that an object can perform. It identifies functions to be performed, and it describes the function to be performed. Messages, on the other hand, is a command that tells an object to perform a specific method. Another concept that goes together with message is polymorphism. Polymorphism is a concept that a message gives different meanings to different objects. Classes. An object belongs to a group or category called a class. All objects within a class share common attributes and methods. There are two types of classes. We have subclasses and superclasses. Subclasses basically are categories within a class. Superclasses are a class belonging to a general category. Relationships among objects and classes. Relationships enable objects to communicate and interact as they perform business functions and transactions. Moreover, relationships describe what objects need to know about each other. Inheritance is the strongest relationship, enables an object to derive one or more of its attributes from another object. Object modeling with UML. UML uses a set of symbols to represent graphically the various components and relationships within a system. UML symbol for use case is an oval with a label that describes the action or event. Use case diagrams are basically a visual summary of several related use cases within a system or subcases. The first step is to identify the system boundary, which is represented by a rectangle. System boundary shows what is included in the system inside the rectangle and what is not included in the system that is outside the rectangle. Now, to repeat on the UML symbol for use case is an oval with a label that describes the action or event. An actor is shown as a stick figure with a label that identifies the actor's role. Use case description basically documents the name of the use case, the actor, and the description of the use case. Now, in general, use case description provides a step-by-step list of tasks and the other key descriptions and assumptions. Now, to summarize this, use case diagrams generally have a system boundary, it has a use case, it has an actor, and it has notations such as arrows, which are also called connectors, and then you have use case descriptions. An example of a use case diagram is shown as per the slide. The rectangle represents the system boundary. The stick figure represents actors. Now, actors can be people, systems, or organizations. The ovals represent the use case, and the arrows indicate connectors or associations. And the use case description is given right on the top of the rectangle. Sequence diagrams. Sequence diagrams are a popular dynamic modeling solution in UML because they specifically focus on lifelines or the processes and objects that live simultaneously, and the messages exchanged between them to perform a function before the lifeline ends. Along with the UML diagramming tool, we often use case to guide to learn everything and there is to know about a particular system. Sequence diagrams are a dynamic model of a use case showing the interaction among classes during a specified time period. Graphically document the use case by showing classes, the messages, and the timing of the messages. It includes symbols that represent classes, lifelines, messages, and focuses. Business process modeling, or BPM. A BPM represents the people, events, and interaction in a system. Can be used anytime during the system's development process. It's compatible with object modeling. Now, business process modeling notations. Notation generally means the signs and the symbols. So the notation is a flowchart method that models the steps of a planned business process from end to end. So this is what a business process modeling notation does. A key to business process management, it visually depicts it visually depicts a detailed sequence of business activities and information flows needed to complete a process. Case tools. Case tools provide an overall framework for documenting the system components. It models requirements. Moreover, object modeling requires many types of diagrams to represent proposed systems. Case tools speed up the process. Moreover, case tools ensure consistency and provide common links. Once objects are described and used in one part of the design, they can be reused multiple times without further effort. Now, case in long form computer-aided software engineering. These are technologies that provide tools for automated assistance in software development. The goal of introducing case tools is the reduction of time and cost of software development and the enhancement of the quality of systems developed. The interest in case tools and environments is based on expectations about increasing productivity, improving product quality, facilitating maintenance, and making software engineers' tasks less odious and more enjoyable. Organizing the object model. An object model is supposed to provide an overview of the system. Moreover, it is supposed to provide clear and relevant support that can be easily accessed. And finally, it should allow to maintain accuracy. Now, object model, basically it is developed or it develops an object relationship diagram that provides an overview of the system. Support each diagram or object definition with clear and relevant documentation that can be accessed easily. Now, how or what kind of diagrams are used? So diagrams that are used are use case diagrams, and they can be linked to appropriate classes, state transition, sequence, and activity diagrams. And finally, like mentioned earlier, object model allows a project team to maintain accuracy. Chapter summary. Object modeling is a popular technique that describes a system in terms of objects. Object-oriented terms include classes, attributes, instances, messages, and methods. Objects can send messages or commands that require other objects to perform certain methods or tasks. The Unified Modeling Language, UML, is a widely used method of visualizing and documenting an information system. Use case describes a business situation initiated by an actor who interacts with the information system. At the end of the object modeling process, the use case and the use case diagrams are organized, and class, sequence, state, transition, and activity diagrams are created. This basically concludes our lecture for week 7. Thank you for listening, everyone.